Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to study the concept of germplasm and cryopreservation, which is under your subject, that is plant biotechnology. In this video lecture we are going to cover different topics. For example, we are going to cover germplasm conservation, then different types of conservation methods like in situ conservation, like ex situ conservation. Then we'll study the cryopreservation. It is a very advanced and sophisticated technique which is used to preserve the germplasm, that we are going to study. Then we will study the techniques of cryopreservation, how the cryopreservation actually is performed, how the process is performed or it is carried out. So these things we are going to learn in this topic. Then different types of storages, different types of storage methods. For example, cold storage, low pressure storage, low oxygen storage, and at last we are going to study the different applications of cryopreservation. So let us see the first concept of germplasm and its conservation. So what is germplasm? Question may arise in your mind. To which thing we call as a germplasm? Okay. So if we see the definition, if we see the definition of germplasm, germplasm can be defined as it is a live source of all the genes, such as seeds or even any plant part like your leaf, stem, pollen, any plant part or seeds, but we should focus on seeds more, or any plant part which can be conserved for a long period of time, and it can be regenerated whenever required in the future. So if we see this definition, we'll come to know what exactly the germplasm is. Okay, germplasm means anything which contains all the genetic information. For example, our information is present in our DNA, okay, and DNA is a part of DNA is present in each and every cell. When we think of the plants, okay, so if we consider regarding the seeds contain embryo, which is the future plant, okay, future plant. So that seed contains an entire future plant, okay. So seeds can be regarded as a germplasm. Seeds, if we sow the seed in the soil, it will again germinate and it will grow into the seedling, and after that the entire plant will grow, it will complete its vegetative growth, then after it completes its reproductive growth, then that cycle continues by pollination, fertilization, and again the seed is formed, fruit is formed, and in this way the cycle continues. Okay. So if we observe the seeds, so seed contain all the information which is present for the entire plant. So entire plant grow from that tiny little seeds. Okay. So you can understand the importance of the seed. You can understand the importance, how the seeds and to which extent the seeds are important. I have written here any plant part because the plant have the capacity or a special ability which we call it as a totipotency, by which we can the plant can be generated from other plant parts also. For example, leaf, stem, pollen. You might have encountered the concept of plant tissue culture. In plant tissue culture, what we do, we used to do the same thing, that we'll take one part of plant, it may be any part, preferably the meristematic, apical meristematic tissues are preferred over the other cells or other tissue, but theoretically speaking, we can take any plant part. You can take leaf, stem, pollen, any plant part can be taken. Okay. So this germplasm is a live source of all the genes. Okay. So what are seeds? Seeds are the live source of all the genes or any plant part. Okay, because each and every cell contains DNA, which contains all the genetic information, which can be conserved for a long period of time. So that seeds, if we proper preservation methods are applied, used, the seeds also can be preserved for a long period of time. You might have heard regarding Rahibai Poperi, Bij Mata in Marathi she is called as Bij Mata. She has preserved the local land races which are at the verge of extinction. She has done a lot of significant work for which she has been awarded with Padma Shri. So that is a different part. But my point to say that she has developed a seed bank at her home, and through which the conservation processes she carried out all these things, and so that significant work is very much important from the biodiversity conservation perspective. Okay, so here why it is important, let us see the other points. It contains all the information that we know for the development of entire future plant. Why it is important to conserve this germplasm? To maintain the genetic diversity. As I told you that if we don't conserve the biodiversity, the diversity will get extinct, will not able to recover it in the future. So it is a time to conserve the seeds, to conserve the germplasm in its pure and natural form. Okay, to maintain the genetic diversity, because it has become imperative. It has become imperative to conserve the germ. It is important. It is compulsory now to conserve the germplasm. Then germplasm conservation, it again produces a gene pool of different genes which act as a reservoir. Okay, germplasm conservation produces it is a property or a gene library, you can say. Okay, gene library can be produced through the germplasm conservation. Again, that can be again used for different purposes. Okay, because in plant breeding techniques, the different varieties are required for the crossing purpose, for the hybridization purpose. But for that to occur, we have the original parents at our side, and for that the importance of local conservation of local land races is again underlined. So for that purpose we have to conserve it. Okay, then it is important in the conservation of rare, endangered species as well as commercially important species. So rare, which are at the verge of extinction, that species can be conserved, that species can be preserved by these different techniques of germplasm conservation. Because if we don't conserve this, what will happen? The species, the rare species, the endangered species, which are very few in number, that will get extinct. And Once the biodiversity has lost, we cannot regain it at any cost. At any cost, we cannot recover. How we can recover it? Once all the seeds, all the germplasm, if get extinct, we cannot produce artificially in laboratory. Can we? No, not at all. So, students, dear students, it is very important to see how the germplasm should be conserved. It is our prime or preliminary or foremost duty to conserve the germplasm, because if until and unless we conserve the germplasm, we cannot have right to live this life, because so as we are living creatures, all these living creatures have equal right to live in this world, and for that we have to conserve, we have to live in harmony with the nature. Okay, so that is important. So as rare, because until and unless if we don't conserve this, the rare species, the endangered species, which are very few in number, that may get extinct and we cannot recover it. So to maintain that biodiversity, it is very important to conserve it. Now again, this germplasm conservation includes the conservation of cultivated species, then wild species, then land races, different land races or breeding lines. Okay, so these are some of the conservation species or conservation different types of plants for which the conservation strategy is applied. Okay. Now, this germplasm conservation is of two different types. Okay, first type is in situ conservation, and second type is ex situ conservation. Okay, how this germplasm conservation has been categorized on the basis of the locality. Okay, so I think you might have understood the concept of germplasm, what is germplasm, and why there is a necessity to conserve this germplasm, because the biodiversity is becoming extinct day by day, because of different man-made activities, different urbanization methods, industrialization, deforestation has taken place, which results in tremendous loss of biodiversity. Okay, and for that it has become compulsory or imperative to conserve this, that we have seen. Then this conservation types, as I discussed just before a few minutes, that this germ conservation is of two different types: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. So this, how these conservation methods are classified. These conservation methods are classified on the basis of the locality at which the particular species is get conserved. Okay, so in this lecture we have seen the germplasm. What is germplasm? Why there is a need to conserve this germplasm, and we enlisted the different types of conservation methods like in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In next lecture, we'll study these two different types of conservation methods in detail, that is in situ conservation method and ex situ conservation methods. So I hope you all have understood what is germplasm and why there is importance of its conservation, and hope you will again start to think over it. Till then, Thanks for your patient listening. Thank you very much.